I'd like to talk today about the differences among three very common verbs: hang, hung, and hanged. What are the differences? Is it, for example, I hung my clothes out to dry? Or is it I hanged my clothes out to dry? Or could it be interchangeable? Is it the axe murderer was hanged? Or is it the axe murderer was hung? What's the difference? Well, there's very, very easy ways of remembering that. So let's start with the verbs hang, present tense, and hung, past tense. Hang for present and hung for past tense. And both verbs mean to suspend something from above with the lower part dangling free. So examples would be I hang my clothes out to dry every day, or past tense, I hung my clothes out to dry, or I hang up the phone after saying goodbye, or yesterday I hung up the phone after saying goodbye. Most of you will use that correctly without any problem. The big challenge is knowing the difference between the verb hung and the verb hanged in common, correct English. So what's the difference? Well, let's define hanged. Hanged is defined only in one way, and that is death by execution or suicide by putting a rope around one's neck and hanging to death. That's the only definition of hanged. So a person never hanged clothes because you're not executing the clothes. It would be the axe murderer was hanged for his crime. It would never be the axe murderer was hung for his crime, although I often hear that from people that the criminal was hung for his or her crime. But that's not correct. What is the definition of hung in that context? Well, in that context of being executed, if you say that the axe murderer was hung, that there it's used as an adjective, a modifier. And it means only one thing, that, how do I say this? That the man was well endowed sexually below the waist. They were very big. And that is to be well hung for a male. So if the axe murderer was hung, well, what they're actually saying is that they were sexually well endowed below the waist. And that's not what they meant. They meant that they should be executed. So it would be the axe murderer was hanged for his crime, not hung. Hung is kind of irrelevant in that situation. And I laugh every time that I hear that somebody was hung for their crime. Yeah, they may be hung, but what happened to them? How were they executed? Oh, they were hanged. And there's your difference. There's your difference. So in conclusion, hang and hung means to be suspended above and dangling down below. Hanged, on the other hand, means to be executed by a rope around your neck. And only when it is used as somebody is well hung is it sexually gifted or very, very large down below the waist. And there's your difference.